What's up, amazing people? It's me again. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking this video. My name is Kays, and on today's video I'll be reacting to a compilation of TikTok videos that are going to make you question your whole existence. Appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you for clicking this video, and without further ado, let's go straight to the video.
The United States government doesn't want you to know what really happened in Miami New Year 2024.
I look back, no cap, yo, no cap. I look back, it looked like a big ass shadow, but it was solid at the same time.
Disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and shouldn't be taken serious. Hundreds of police officers, helicopters, and more showed up for a call that allegedly was teenagers fighting with sticks. That's what they are telling us happened. But have you ever seen a police response like this for a fight? What if the truth is so sinister that once it gets out there, Pandora's box will forever be open? It's said that 7 to 10 foot tall creatures cloaked like something from a Predator movie and appearing as shadows was in that mall. People inside were firing gunshots at these creatures, and everyone was so scared that nobody could even pull out a phone to record. They was in fight or flight mode, and they was flighting. But this man later recorded the truth. Watch this.
A few shadows, but they were solid at the same time, and it almost looked like they was coming our direction, like they was chasing us, but they was disappearing and reappearing closer. So I'm like, yo, what? So we start really moving. Next thing you know, we start hearing more gunshots, like these dudes start fighting.
And listen to what this pastor says.
I've been trying for 7 years, and I get ridiculed if I start talking about these are not aliens from another planet. These are interdimensional beings that have been given a body.
This could be, it's either they are trying to distract us from the Epstein, from the list, or it could be the initiation of the Project Bluebeam, you know? I don't know, this is weird. Let me know what you think on the comment section, guys.
My name is Fitz. I was there at the Bayside Mall with my family, and we all saw exactly what happened. Don't pay attention to a lot of the videos that are out there. I feel like a lot of people are trying to use this for clout. But what happened, we all saw what happened, and it's pretty serious. It's been a few days, and our whole family's processing it, but I think we've kind of accepted that we were a part of this weird experience and moment. So basically what happened was I was there with my brother Brian, my sister, and my nephew. We were looking for shoes for my nephew, and then we see a whole crowd of people outside the store just running out in a direction. So as soon as we saw it, we were like, oh shit, what's going on? So we immediately ran out with our nephew, and we picked him up and we ran out and we followed the crowd. And then about a few seconds later, as soon as we started running, my nephew, he's autistic, so he was pointing behind us and he was saying blankie, which he'll usually say whenever he feels unsafe or scared. And he was pointing behind us. So me and my brother, we looked behind us, and then we see these 3 9-10 foot tall creatures. I'm not gonna say aliens. Everyone keeps saying it's aliens. I'm not saying aliens because I don't know what it was. None of us really knew. Everyone, all of us stopped in our track. We, a whole bunch of people were pointing at it. There were other people running. There was a crowd. As soon as it made itself more apparent, it looked like it was glitching, not like a computer pixelation, but like a wavy glitch. And whatever maybe was covering them had, unveiled or whatever. It looked like a glitch, man. It like a weird glitch in the Matrix or whatever. And then you could see it in its full form, all 3 of them. And then, they were all black. You saw eyes, and you could faintly see like lips, but I was about 20 feet away, because obviously everybody gave it distance, right? And they're tall, so we all just looked at them. They were just standing there, and the thing that was a little bit weird, well, it was clearly observing us. It was sentient, right? or whatever. I mean, I don't know, but it was aware of us. It looked at us, the whole crowd, and then as soon as it started walking with its big legs, like kind of like it started like almost glitching again, we all ran. My brother like immediately said, yo, let's go. He grabbed me by the shoulder. We bolted out of there. And for anyone that's like saying, you know, where's the footage? Yeah, I know. I don't have any footage, and I'll explain why. Cause like when I saw it, I was in complete fear. It was something that I completely froze, man. I don't care if I sound like a bitch about it. Like, I froze. And I don't care who you are. I feel like when you're seeing something paranormal, it's different than when you're seeing a fight. Yeah, you'll probably want to record that and put it on WorldStar or whatever. When you see something paranormal, that's different. Because your reality, you can't comprehend what you're seeing. A fight, you kind of get it. Two people are fighting. You can comprehend that. Something like this, none of us could comprehend. Your first instinct is like, it ain't to like take out your phone and start recording. Your first instinct is like, I've never seen this before. What is this? Is it gonna hurt me or my family? That was my first #1 priority. So if you don't believe me, I get it. You know, it's fine. Like, it is silly. I'm sure that someone had footage from that night. If you did, please contact me just so like, you know, we actually have it. So anyways, as soon as the creature started moving, we all just jetted out there. We ran out the front doors. And you know, obviously like we see a whole sea of cop cars, mad cop cars, where other ones were coming in. And we ran with our nephew, and then, you know, a cop stopped us. You know, they took us a little to a bit of a safer area behind the cars. And then, and they asked us what we saw. And we told them what we saw. You know, they wrote it down, and they asked everybody to check their phones. Not everybody, because there was mad people like running away too, right? They couldn't get everyone. So I'm wondering if someone's gonna post a video. But yeah, they looked through everyone's phone. I didn't record anything, so I was fine. None of us recorded anything, so we were basically free to go. But in the distance, you could still see, like, you know, I didn't see the beings come out the door, right? But you could see on the side of the building, kind of like that clip that everyone's seeing, that it was slowly walking, and it was like, it wasn't cloaking or glitching or whatever. It was walking. So I don't know if it seemed more like it was an interdimensional thing. Someone's coming into our dimension or whatever, a bunch of them. And I think, you know, that it was just interesting, the police response, because it was a whole bunch of them. This ain't for no teenagers. No, this was for something way bigger. And it almost seemed like the cops had like a already made strategy for it, because they surrounded one of the beings with like all their police cars. They blared it up even louder because you could hear that it was louder. Maybe as an attempt to like distract it or let it know like, hey, you don't belong here, right? And you know, they were trying to like slowly move alongside with it. But I didn't see anything else after that, because me and my family, we got out of there. We went into our car. We went home. Because, you know, we had our nephew with us, and we went to make sure, like, you know, he was okay. So I'm still kind of like processing everything. Like, it's weird, but at the same time, I'm glad that we weren't alone in seeing it, because like it was a whole bunch of us that saw it. And it feels kind of like, you know, you're part of something like really big. But at the same time, it's confusing, because like you want to kind of like show people. Like, I wish I took a video, man, like, because people are gonna probably think I'm crazy, right? But yeah, I'm left with more questions. Like, we were all kind of left with more questions than anything else. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's aliens. I know everybody's saying it's aliens. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I saw something come in through like a weird glitchy, maybe a portal or whatever. and it was like they were pretty tall. You could see some facial. It was they were very dark, like and shiny, but I can't tell if it was like a wet shiny or like a metallic shiny. And long limbs. Long limbs, long fingers. They were definitely humanoid in shape, and shadowy. But maybe that shadowiness was like from a glitch or whatever, like whatever cloaking maybe they had like fell off. But yeah, it felt like something was coming into our world or whatever, like a fucking Stranger Things episode. But it was crazy, man. Like
I went too deep. Have you heard of the prison planet theory? Well, guess who just learned about it? Yeah. I didn't sleep last night. I did not sleep last night, and if you keep watching this, you're probably not going to sleep either. So here I am, minding my own business on Reddit when I found Escaping Prison Planet. And for the next 3 hours, I dove too deep. Here's the gist of it. Essentially, we're all trapped here on Earth. We're all trapped here, and everything we know about, like all the religions that believe in reincarnation, all these different things, yeah, we keep coming back to this Earth because there are astral beings that are harvesting our energy, and they are trapping us here. Sounds crazy, right? Sounds crazy. Well, let's get into the details. Apparently, these beings that are controlling us are these reptilian beings that you always hear about. Well, let's dive into it, In Jainism and Hinduism, they have Nagas, half human, half serpent. The Aztec Empire talked about a serpent-like god that they called Quetzalcoatl. And don't tell me if I pronounced it right or wrong. I don't care, okay? Surely, 2 instances, right? This is just a coincidence. African shamans talk about the Shitari, and it is a race of reptilian beings. The Hopi Indians in North America had the Sheti, which translates to snake brothers. Chinese, Japanese, and Korean legends all talk about the Kappa. And Gnostic texts, which if you don't know about the Gnostics, Gnosis just means knowledge, and basically what the Gnostics believed was after Christ died, you have to have particular knowledge that would save you. Well, the Gnostics, yeah, they believe in archons, which are parasitic entities that feed off of us. We're doing okay? We doing okay? So the question is why? What are these beings doing? Why are they here? Apparently, they have been involved from the foundations of human history in manipulating us, creating this soul trap, harvesting our energy. And what this theory proposes is essentially that light a tunnel that many people have talked about that have had near-death experiences or death experiences. Yeah, it's just to trick us, to essentially wipe us clean, send our souls back, and start the process again. So every major form of religion talks about how we have a soul. Well, we are a soul. We have a body, right? This body is essentially a rental car. And these beings, what they feed off of, what the energy they feed off of is this low vibrational energy. So whether it's stress, whether it's fear, whether it's contention, pain, grief, jealousy, rage, all of it, anxiety, that's what they feed off of. And so they manipulate and they toy with us and they do all these things to create this energy. Now, I don't know if this is true, but that kind of describes the world we live in. Kind of describes it pretty damn well. I mean, look what Tesla says. He says, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. What freaks me out the most is there's so many urban legends talking about these freaking reptilians. That motherfucker right there is not real, right? Like, everything that's going on in freaking Miami, like I think we can all agree that there's multiple dimensions, right? People having experiences on psychedelics where multiple people will take the same thing and they all go to another dimension and see the same thing. Like, how do you explain that? How do you explain that? Explain it to me, please. I'm going way too long with this and I haven't even freaking scratched the surface. But basically, we're just all here. Life is engineered to create this low vibrational energy. And what happens is when we die, when we go through that light tunnel, we're tricked into thinking, hey, you need to go back to Earth. There's more you need to learn, or there's karma you need to resolve, or, there's a higher purpose that you need to do. And we come back and it's the same thing. Listen, I'm a very spiritual person, very spiritual. I believe all of us as humans are connected. I believe you look at every major world religion and there's commonalities, and that it's because it stems from this eternal knowledge. But this freaking scared the crap out of me. Because what if it's all just engineered to trick us? Anyways, I can dive deeper if you guys are interested, but if you're not, whatever. I'll just be sitting up at night, not being able to sleep.
Honestly, I've never bought the idea of us coming back to Earth so that we can learn something that maybe we did in the past life. How am I supposed to learn my mistakes if I can't even remember where I went wrong in the first place? It doesn't make sense.
I've met Satanists and people that took part in rituals against their will who have told me of their experiences, and these are major players like the royal family, British royal family, Dutch royal family, all that stuff, all major players in this satanic ritual culture. And so then I asked that question I mentioned a few minutes ago. Oh, so what do the gods get out of it? I take you back to the first Matrix movie, and the Morpheus character holds up a battery and he says, the Matrix is a computer-generated dream world designed to turn humans into one of these, a battery. And that's when a massive understanding started to come to me from many different sources, which I talk about in the books. These, quote, gods, these entities, are feeding off human energy, but it's a particular type of human energy. This is mainstream science. Again, every time we feel emotion, every time we think, we're generating frequencies. And those frequencies, in terms of what the frequencies are, relate to the nature of the emotion and the nature of the thought. And scientists have worked out what these frequencies are for different emotions, right? And
is that like when you go into a room and you kind of feel like, oh, there's a bad energy in here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you go into an old house where there's been a lot of really bad things gone on, see, when the people involved in the bad things are giving off that vibe, and unless someone goes into that house and changes the frequency, they sit there vibrating. So you go into it and you think, oh, this is horrible, God, because you're picking the vibe up, right? So these are the energies I'm talking about. So these entities, by their very nature, are very low vibrational in nature, because anyone that wants to impose their will and manipulate and cause suffering and war and death and destruction is in a very low vibrational state. And if they're going to feed off human energy, they can only feed off it if we are delivering it within the band of frequency they can absorb. Because otherwise, if we were in a world of love and joy and happiness and peace, then we'd be giving off frequencies, yes, but much higher, more expanded frequencies, and they wouldn't be able to absorb them, like radio stations in the old analog system, sharing the same space but not interfering with each other because they're on different wavelengths. To give off the frequencies that they can absorb, we have to be in fear, anxiety, depression, resentment.
We saw the kids version in Monsters Inc. as well.
That was another one. You had the monster world, where the key monster was a green entity with one single massive eye. I mean, that's telling you, isn't it? What happened is that in the monster world, they had no source of energy. And so in the power station, every day, the monster employees would turn up and they stand in line. And then these doors would come, and when they walked through the door, they walked into a child's bedroom. And their job was to terrify the child, so the child screamed. They caught the scream in a tube and went back to the monster world to power the monster world. It was very symbolic of how this works. They are telling you without telling you, if you know what I mean.
Yo.
Okay, so did you guys see the Tucker Carlson interview where he said a government insider told him something about aliens that was so scary he couldn't even tell his wife, and that humanity isn't ready for this? Okay, let's watch and then I'll let you know what I think he's talking about.
The UFO story. There are parts of that story that I do not understand at all that are really, really, really dark. It's so dark that I, haven't told my wife about it. I mean, I haven't verified any of this, but this is not just stuff that I read on the internet. I know you all are very, very grounded in that story, so I think I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But there's some stuff there that's just like, man, I'm not even sure what that means. There's a spiritual component there that I don't fully understand. So yes, that story bothers me. And I think, last thing I'll say, that one of the reasons that we've had all these disclosures and all of these, 10 whistleblowers at this point, and it hasn't really become front page news. Part of it's suppression. Parts of the government don't want you to know about it, but part of it is the public can't deal with it. It's too far out. The implications are too profound. And I understand that, because I've heard things where I'm just like, oh man, I don't even really want to know that.
Okay, so after that clip went viral, a lot of people started speculating that this could have been about the Eisenhower Treaty. And I've already covered that topic extensively, but for those of you who don't know, allegedly in 1954, Eisenhower made an agreement with aliens that allowed them to abduct US citizens in exchange for weapons and technology. It's worth noting that his great-granddaughter has come forward and said that he was pressured into this deal. Maybe I'm too desensitized to the topic. The government allowing people to get abducted by aliens, is that too scary to tell your wife? I feel like that's not really what this is here. However, this spiritual component that Tucker's talking about actually does relate to the treaty a little bit. So Gerald Light wrote a letter after this meeting between Eisenhower and aliens, which he attended. And he says he has never seen so many human beings in complete collapse, because the reality of other plane aeroforms is now and forever removed from the realms of speculation. It is now fact. And he calls these beings not aliens, not extraterrestrials, but Etherians. And that reminds me of the famous Area 51 caller, where an alleged former employee of Area 51 called into Coast to Coast AM to tell them this.
Okay, well, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of...
Again, the treaty is being mentioned, but more importantly, they're specifying that these are not extraterrestrial beings, and that the government was initially tricked by this. But then I thought to myself, what actually could be so scary that you wouldn't tell your wife? And this reminded me of the Gateway Experience. The Gateway Experience was developed by Robert Monroe, developed meditation and out-of-body techniques that would train your brainwaves to break through time and space. Naturally, this got the attention of the CIA. We even got declassified CIA documents saying that our universe is a hologram. But the scary part that you wouldn't tell your wife? Robert Monroe claims that while traveling out of the body, he experienced fourth-dimensional lizard humanoids. He said not only have these interdimensional beings controlled humanity for many millennia, and they can only be seen if you can see beyond the visible spectrum of light. And here's the worst part. The food of these non-physical beings is our pain and suffering and negative emotions, and he called it Loosh. Now that's something I wouldn't want to tell my wife about. However, I had the privilege and honor to interview the last living member who worked on the original Gateway Experience. His name is Mark Serto. He was best friends with Robert Monroe, and he was also the sound engineer on the HemiSync recordings.
Some of the juicy stuff.
Let's get into the juicy stuff.
And a big topic that comes up when Bob Monroe's brought up and the Gateway Experience is this concept of like Loosh, and that humans are part of the cosmic food chain.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to see that, plus this Gerald Light letter in full and my full Eisenhower breakdown, go on over and subscribe to my Substack. This is available for free subscribers. You can find the link in my bio.
Being done here, dying here doesn't mean you are dead. Is the 3D calling it dead? But you are not your body. Your ascended body is what you should know, or your body that will your astral body that will ascend, that you should know, because actually there are some astral bodies that will descend into the lowest vibration side of the energy. because they created that reality when they were on it. They gave their energy. They weren't living themselves. They allowed themselves to be under a spell of Yahweh consciousness. So when you go to church, don't think that you are going to a place called heaven and walk on gold. Oh, don't let anybody lie to you. Your energy will determine your state you will create. You are your energy. So when you come to connect with yourself, that is where spirituality comes in. It means you are knowing yourself. So even when you are out here, you are in charge of your astra. When you see the 4Ds, you see them. When you see the reptilians, you see them. But they can't come because the vibration you have created, all of them, the Divine Mother has, they will all see destruction. The destruction we are talking about, we are talking about the earth reset. It's a distraction to them. The earth reset is a distraction to them. And it has started 2024, the Hurricane Katrina. Look at the nice name they are giving to the Hurricane Katrina. And a lot of things, floodings will be happening. There will be floodings in Europe and America. Floodings will happen, yes. Floodings will happen in some countries. In some there will be flooding. A powerful flooding. Yes, you see them. Shield yourself, shield your energy. That's why you need energy work. If you are not in nature, you need energy work. So that you always be at the right place at the right time. Funeral is a ritual. I'm telling you the truth. Whatever they do, and they come and sing some binding songs. It's a consciousness. Different father, and they'll be drinking. Oh, see, they are all part of the spell. They are all parts. If you are spiritual, death also means living to you. So the word death is a spell. You don't die, you are an energy. Understand that now, before. Or else when you come out of your body, you'll be like a stranger. Hey, what is happening? I've left my body. Hey, I've left my body. The moment you start doing that, you are projecting fear in your soul. Then the lower entities, yes, under the Yahweh consciousness, he doesn't know himself. He has lived in a certain consciousness. So right now we can manipulate him. We can create something for him right now. Hey, I am your God. Come here. Then you will go. Then they'll go and bind you there. You think it's a joke. When you meet him in the astral and you call me, I'll tell you why. For what? For what? Do you know me? Nothing can control you unless you give that thing permission, whether on the physical or on the astral. That's why in your dreams, sometimes you become bold and you beat people. They are all astral experiences, defining how astral feels. So working on yourself here today matters a lot. Don't play with yourself. Don't become in and be trapped in media entertainment. You should understand that life is beyond the 3D. There is a fourth dimension. There is a fifth dimension to life. There is a sixth dimension to life. And there is your own dimension to life. That is what I call the unlimited dimension. With that dimension, it doesn't have a number. There is no number on that dimension. It can be 1 billionth dimension. That one is your dimension. And you have created that dimension. So to everything, there are these dimensions. And remember, you are the God you are looking for. I'm opening your eyes. Don't play. You don't come to me and I'll give you salt. Go and use it to cook banku. Your lives will be over. No, I'll let you know yourself. So that when you see salt, you can use the salt energy like God. As God. So funeral, those things that they've been doing there. And sometimes even the youth, they've been using the wakekeeping to have sex. Sexual energy is drained there because there is alcohol there. As long as there is alcohol, sex will happen. So during that death funeral rituals, energies come there. I'm telling you, that's why you won't find me there. In that funeral ritual, you will not find me there. I'll connect, but I'll connect out. Then I have to know. No. If the people that we are connected to are still in the matrix consciousness and they are dear to us, we can decide. Then I will decide to go but before I go, I'll shield myself a lot. A lot of energy work will happen. And when I come back, a lot of energy work will happen because But personally, funeral, me, no. We don't play. This is the life.
That is insane. I mean, Wow. Come to think of it, holidays and birthdays as well, they are rituals.
This is a huge discovery, and we think that it's a huge discovery.
Exploring the depths of space has always been a quest that stretches the boundaries of human understanding. And we are now closer to achieving this goal than ever before in our history, thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope. Sharp images of distant cosmic phenomena are now helping us shape and refine our understanding of the cosmic web like never before. And now, a grand revelation is all set to change everything. The James Webb Telescope has just detected lights from another civilization 7 trillion miles from Earth.
And that's the most exciting piece of this telescope, of this remarkable instrument we've put in space.
Hang tight as we explore the implications of this startling discovery. These observations and discoveries, among many others, not only expanded our knowledge of the universe, but also provided captivating and awe-inspiring images that captured the public's imagination and deepened our understanding of cosmic phenomena. This happens to be the JWST. NASA's scientific endeavors extended beyond Hubble, of course, encompassing missions exploring our solar system's planets, moons, and beyond. Projects like the Mars rovers, Voyager missions, and the exploration of celestial bodies have honed NASA's expertise in space exploration, fueling the innovation and technological advancements integral to the JWST's conception and construction. Launching the JWST is thus one of the many remarkable accomplishments of the USA's National Space Agency, and it has brought us much closer to understanding the nature, origins, and eventual fate of the universe. Unlike its predecessor, the JWST is designed to capture long-wavelength visible light through mid-infrared wavelengths, providing a broader and clearer view of the cosmos. Recently, the JWST made a groundbreaking discovery that has captivated the scientific community and the public alike. The telescope detected an extraordinary phenomenon, a cluster of lights from a planet located an astounding 7 trillion miles away from Earth. Based on spectral analysis, scientists are positive that the planet in question, WASP 96b, may host extraterrestrial life. The revelation challenges conventional astronomical assumptions, igniting excitement and curiosity about the existence of alien populations beyond our solar system. The discovery has sent shockwaves through the scientific community, prompting a reevaluation of our understanding of cosmic phenomena and the potential for life beyond Earth.
Rampage Jackson says space is fake and the Earth is flat.
The sun and the moon is real.
Okay.
But outer space is not.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as outer space.
No, and that's the whole thing that got you tricked and why you think the other planets and stuff. The planets are wandering stars that you think about.
So you think all that, like them going to Mars stuff, is all?
How they going to the Mars? Why they don't put the same rover on the moon so we can watch the Earth spin right now? How they gonna go to Mars?
They're talking about building a society on Mars, right?
Yeah. Why they doing that? Why they ain't got the same thing on the moon right now though?
Yeah.
How they gonna go stupid and we believe it?
It's just it's so ingrained, you know, because your parents were taught that, their parents were taught that. So if you go against,
our grandparents wasn't taught that.
Your great granddaddy,
our grandparents and our great grandparents was taught that the Earth was flat before 1968.
I don't think so.
Look up, find encyclopedia before 1968.
Dude,
I know when I first came across the flat Earth stuff, I didn't believe it and stuff, and I was trying to debunk it and everything. The thing that threw me off was they were talking about how fast the Earth spins at 666, everything's 666 and stuff like that, and making it sound like so evil. And that's the thing that threw me off. I'm like, there's too much of a conspiracy. Like, I know people can be smart and stuff and can be evil. I know how evil this world is because I'm a very spiritual person.
Yeah.
And I know the true meaning. I know the true reason why they're lying. I do. But that stuff that's what threw me off about the whole flat Earth, and I didn't believe it. The only way I believed it, I came across the emergency landings thing. That's when I was like, yeah.
This is hard to believe, as scientists have found a dystopian, possibly dangerous, futuristic society multiplying on a nearby planet, and many are fearing what they're getting ready to do to us. News reports were calling a red warning as headlines were showing that NASA, using the James Webb Telescope, found light patterns to look like eerie bright city lights on another planet, and many were scared as this city might be way more complex and advanced than we could ever imagine. Citizens were terrified when reports were saying that these lights could be a result of incredibly smart extraterrestrial civilizations or terrifying aliens that far exceed anything we can do. The planet is named Proxima b, and news claim that not only do they believe this is the first proof and real sign of intelligent life in space, but it's actually very close to us, with some saying whatever is there is likely watching us too. But it is important to note the James Webb Telescope has been reported to have the ability to detect light clusters in space, but right now is not considered operational yet. The images we see of light clusters on a planet is just a render of what the telescope could catch, so don't believe all the headlines and rumors just yet.
What?
Listen up, y'all. There are beings that is walking this earth and they are not human. I just came from Kroger's. I just got off of work. I went to go pick up a few items, y'all. I go to the bread aisle. Now, the bread aisle is super long. I'm at one end of the bread aisle. There's a guy that's about 3/4 of the way down in the bread aisle. He got a cart, I got a cart. He's looking at me. And you know how you can see out your peripheral that somebody's staring at you. He ain't just looking, but he's staring at me. I kind of look his way. He's still staring. I go ahead and I get my bread. I go back around the other way because I'm going to the International aisle to get some pasta and some other stuff. While I'm in the International aisle at one end, this guy comes around and he's at the top of the same aisle. I see him still looking at me. Now, mind you, there's a couple of things that I need to get out of that aisle. So the first part of the aisle, I grab what I need to grab and I go about midways down. He's at the other end. So he's staring at me still. So I kind of look at him and I go like, how you give somebody that type look? He's still staring. So I'm looking for what I'm looking for. I can't really find it because he's throwing me off because he keeps staring. Mind you, this man don't have nothing in his cart. He's not even turned to look at any food. He's looking directly at me. By this time, I'm like, you know what? I'm not on it. I'm about to just stare you down. So I turn to look at him. Y'all, when I tell you, this man stared at me and his eyes turned black. Everything in his whole eyeball, not just the pupil, but the white part, turned completely black. He looked, it said black, and then he walked away. When I tell you I left that cart sitting in that aisle, I didn't even buy nothing from Kroger's. I left out and I came home. There is stuff, there is beings that is walking in this earth and they at the store, they at whatever, they look like us and everything else, but they are not human. I don't even know what to say.
These creatures are harvesting us. These creatures are not aliens, Mr. Ike. These creatures are sexually compatible with our women. And what does that tell you? It tells you that they came from here. They are part of us. African tradition says that the Chitauri fatten on the energy that we human beings give them. They make us to fight each other. And when the whole land is drowning in death and fear and terror, when hundreds and hundreds of people are angry and afraid, the cheetah only get fed because they eat what we call the dark power, which is brought about when human beings destroy the planet on which they live.
Apparently, this is Zulu mythology. These creatures, I hope you're not about to go to sleep, have been around for a very, very long time. There are snake people that apparently originated in the oceans, and they developed very powerful, complex tools when humanity was new upon Earth, and with their technology, they decided to enslave humanity and even celestial beings. They were driven underground and said to hide in the center of the Earth to this very day. And here's a quick video about someone talking about these, and yeah, like I said, I hope you're not about to go to bed.
This is insane.
Have you guys ever...
After you die, how we are told that your memories flash back at that period of your day? What if we are dead, we are actually reliving our memories and we don't even know?
Cat Williams on Jonathan Majors.
My goal was to get this far in Hollywood and still have a virgin and never have sucked a penis. That was my only goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go, think I'm old, cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. And remember, I told you the drug story from when I'm in the park.
Yeah.
So these are just the things. I had all of those when I came in. I already was ready for that. That's what they don't like.
I did not know. You're telling me and showing me a side of the business that I didn't know.
He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
I have time to fact check everything he said because the world of Cat Williams is a fictional world.
After all those shady things Kevin Hart said on The Breakfast Club about Cat Williams being on drugs, Cat finally said enough is enough, and he just pulled out the receipts exposing Kevin as the biggest plant in the industry. In his viral new interview with Shannon Sharpe, Cat held nothing back, and he went off on Kevin for lying about his journey to success. Now, Cat dropped hints before, implying that Kevin took some shady shortcuts and sacrificed his principles for fame, and Kevin then tried to paint Cat as an addict, and claimed Cat was just using Hollywood as a scapegoat for his own personal failures. But Cat's now dead set on clarifying why he's so convinced that Kevin would do just about anything to grab success by the horns. In his new interview, Cat claimed Kevin lied to everyone about how he made it big in Hollywood, exposed him for doing gay roles for a check, explained what club Kevin belongs to, and so much more. So let's break it all down.
That's why, you know what the #1 job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is? Is to act like it didn't happen. They all do the same job.
You've probably heard Kevin Hart bragging about how he's the hardest working comedian in the game. But here's the thing, while he loves to talk up his work ethic, there are a lot of people who have dropped hints that Kevin's success isn't just about hard work. And Cat Williams, he's not the one to mince words. Cat is done with throwing hints and making insinuations, and he's now directly calling out Kevin for being an industry plant. To give you some context, the first time Cat suggested Kevin might have done some shady stuff for fame was back in the early 2000s. This was when people started talking about how black male entertainers get pushed to put on a dress as some weird rite of passage before they can hit that next level of fame. Dave Chappelle was very vocal about this, and back in 2006, he appeared on Oprah's show and recalled one incident when he was asked to wear a dress for a movie he was doing with Martin Lawrence. Dave said no, but the producers kept pushing and telling him all the greats had done it before.
This happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin. Yeah. The movie's doing good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. The writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? A prostitute? No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it.
What's crazier is that they had a backup plan in case they couldn't break him. According to Dave, they had 2 versions of the scene, one with him in a dress and one without.
But the minute it was clear, I was adamant. I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast?
Dave explained that this whole dress thing is not really about the dress itself being humiliating, and it's more about these celebs getting pushed around and tested to see if they'll blindly follow orders.
That I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. 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 All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TD Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have no more of these.
Amen, amen.
Gee.
Okay, now it's starting to make sense. Remember in my earlier video, I'm like, I don't know what the connection is with Diddy and TD Jakes. Why y'all ain't tell me I needed to be sitting down for this one? Shout out to the Tough News podcast for breaking this news. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip, y'all, but y'all make sure y'all sitting down because I wasn't. I almost fell out.
Of evidence to the feds. I'm told that after Cassie had a long conversation with Blank, I have to protect this person. They're going through a lot right now. And her lawyers, she finally was convinced to give up the videotapes and audio recordings that contain footage of S parties and other private gatherings that feature some pretty powerful and prominent people. And get this, she even gave up a burner phone and USBs that belong to Kim Porter with incriminating evidence against Diddy. I'm told that there are a slew of artists, politicians, and entertainers that are about to be exposed and arrested for H10. I'm paraphrasing there, okay? H10. I'm told that Cassie's husband played a significant role in getting Cassie to turn over the evidence. It's to my understanding that Cassie felt that by exposing the truth, it would also make her look like a filthy Moor, and I'm paraphrasing there because some of the videos she turned in, it shows her getting number one, okay guys, I'm paraphrasing again, and committing more disgusting acts that she was forced to do. I'm also told that multiple male escorts corroborated the fact that TD Jakes have slept with multiple men at Diddy's parties and abroad, and they refer to him as being a power bottom. Wow. It's also been said that a young male has acquired a lawyer to represent him as he is set to sue Jakes for an incident that took place when he was just years old. It's been said that the young man was forced to perform sloppy toppy, and I'm paraphrasing here, guys. You can actually put two and two together to understand what I'm trying to say. It's been said that the man's family were members of the Potter's house, but left the church in 2015. According to multiple church insiders, the parents were paid off to keep quiet. The guy's a grown man now and is seeking his own justice. It's been said that the young man doesn't even deal with his parents even to this day because they took hush money. According to Pastor Blank, and I have to protect this pastor, Bishop Jakes is about to get railroaded and all of his dirt will be exposed. That's why the bishop has quietly lawyered up. He sees his fall from grace coming. All right.
Shout out to all my supporters who was trying to send me this video, y'all. I was busy all day and I just got the chance to actually listen to the video. I am flabbergasted, y'all. This is so much. Like, it's never ending. This is the craziest rabbit hole ever. It just, oh my God. When this is all said and done, if Diddy do not go to jail, I'm going to believe that he is Satan in the flesh. That's the only way he going to be able to avoid jail at this point.
This is so wrong. And I just hope she gets the justice that she deserves.
Now, I know y'all have seen these headlines and what's currently trending. And I just have one question. What the fuck is a power bottom? Now, for some odd reason, whenever I hear power bottom, it automatically makes me think about basketball positions for some reason. So there's 5 positions that you could play. You can be the point guard, the shooting guard, a small forward, a power forward, and then you have your center. Is a power bottom a new name for your center? Because look at, no matter how you have your defense and your offense set up, depending on how you do it, they're always at the bottom of that diagram in the paint or outside the paint somewhere, right? And I'm thinking Anthony Davis, Shaquille O'Neal, you know, your big man. Somebody that's gonna slam dunk that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, really power up in the paint. Bitch. Dwight Howard! Oh my God! Is Dwight Howard a power bottom, bro? It makes sense. Power bottom. So they slam dunking on the dick now? Oh my God. I figured it out.
What? Wow.
TD Jakes being allegedly a power
bottom does not surprise me. Y'all being shocked by it does. Do y'all not remember this?
Ashley, come on.
I cannot be convinced that Brother Sky Daddy told this man to create an album to help husband and wife have sex. The moment you need to get your pastor involved in what's going down in the bedroom, get a divorce. And the people that don't recognize this album was a threesome between TD Jakes and whatever Christian couple was getting it on. God help. Half the album is TD Jakes talking a woman through it, and then the other half is him like growling and panting like he's in heat. It was very strange to me as a child, but as an adult, it's even stranger.
Well, we definitely received substantial evidence that he was involved in trafficking young women and children to the Virgin Islands for a very long period of time, through our airport, through his private jet, and then he would, by helicopter or sometimes boat, would then transport them over to Little St. James. And that's where he has his complex where he lives, which is his official residence as well. And that these young girls and women were subject to sexual assault, sexual exploitation, through coercion, false imprisonment, where the passports at some points were taken away. The actions were just reprehensible. And it was quite a number of women, and we found through our investigation that at least up to 2018 that continued.
So what your investigation is showing is the broad scope of Jeffrey Epstein's nefarious activities, that it just kept going.
Based on the evidence that we found thus far. Let me make something very clear. Jeffrey Epstein was very good at protecting himself and being secret. You know, the secrecy he was very good at that. And because of his wealth, his power, he was able to do that and secure that. So when you think about it, he owns a private island. That's an island over a mile away from St. Thomas, the main island. And it's out there and it's isolated. He purchases that, right? Then he owns the jet that flew in to the airport. It's under a name of one of the front companies that actually has been named in our complaint, but it's him. He's the member of that LLC. And he owns the helicopter and the boats that took or transported him and the women and children over to the island. So when you think about that, it's him orchestrating all of that. Yes, there may have been baggage handlers. There may have been other persons who looked and saw him and other females with young girls. Yes, but I think that it's important that we focus on how Jeffrey Epstein was so able to create such an elaborate scheme, especially by doing it in such secrecy. And he had the money and power to create the secrecy so that not just local authorities, but we have federal authorities here too that are here all along. Not even they might have been able to see it. In looking at that, you have to really, get a good understanding of how he was able to protect and isolate himself. Once you get on that island, how do you get off? It's not like a person who's on the island can just say, okay, I'm going to swim to St. Thomas. They can't do that. It's not like a person who's there and needs help that they can sneak away and run outside and flag down a vehicle or flag down a police car or run to the nearest police station like they might be able to do on St. Thomas, on the main island. The island is isolated. So that kind of isolation is really what you have to look at when you start to think, how could this have happened for so long?
I think the picture you paint is a terrifying one of isolation, but also abuse of power. And I just wonder why the people who worked for Jeffrey Epstein weren't terrified for the girls going over there. They knew how isolated that island was. They knew the ages of those girls. They saw powerful men there. Why weren't they terrified? Why didn't they become whistleblowers?
Well, one thing I do know, first of all, is that there are the non-disclosure agreements that Jeffrey Epstein had all of the employees, if not most of them, sign, and they had to agree not to disclose any information to law enforcement or anyone else regarding what goes on that island. And even after Jeffrey Epstein's death, those non-disclosure agreements are still in place and still enforced by the estate. So this was just one of the ways that you can pretty much intimidate or silence people. But in addition to that, when you see someone connected with powerful people who may visit the island or he may be involved with, whether it doesn't have to be here, it could be anywhere in the world, and it's known that these powerful people are his friends and associates, that alone is intimidating to the ordinary citizen who's sitting there and watching this and say, ooh, that does not look good. But could you imagine the reluctance of that person to say, I'm going to come forward, I'm going to tell on that person who's friends with all these powerful people? So that alone, the way that he surrounded himself with these powerful people, that was an example of the kind of intimidation that would cause what you're saying, people to be silent about what they may see or suspect. As far as the Virgin Islands is concerned, we need to make sure that the Virgin Islands is not perceived as a haven for this kind of sexual exploitation, human trafficking, and sexual and child abuse. We have to make that clear. It is very important that we enforce our laws against human trafficking, against child abuse, against child and sexual exploitation of women. It is important that we do that, because if I don't do it as the Attorney General, the top law enforcement person, if we do not do it in the Virgin Islands, then those types of crimes will continue to flourish.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming?